Hello, hello, Lifestyle Wellness Group. How are you today? All right, a little shaky there because I'm holding my phone for this one. But I am so stoked, so excited. It is September 1st, so you know what that means. First off, I'm kind of geeky and I love Mondays. I just love Mondays. And then the first of the month, just like a fresh new start for goals and what have you. And I really geek out when the first of the month lands on a Monday. This time it's a Tuesday, so close enough, I'll take it. But we are starting our organizational theme this month, and I love this. If you saw my video last week, I mentioned how people would always come into my house and think what the heck was up because it was always so neat and clean. I would literally put my 4 children, I had 4 children in 4 years, and my house was neat, y'all. I used to get them on the school bus, invite a mom back in for coffee. Hey, Maria, thanks for hopping on. How are you? And they'd come in my house and there'd be no dishes, no breakfast dishes in the kitchen sink, and they just couldn't figure it out. Or when I used to work in corporate, I used to work downtown Manhattan, and they would pass by my desk every day and think I quit. That's how neat it was at the end of my workday, or in the beginning when they would come in if I didn't, get there yet. So anyway, this is my jam. Organization, systems. I know that times that can be like a little trigger word for people, systems, but I like geek out on this stuff. Why? Because to me, a clutter-free environment means a clutter-free mind. We all have so much on our plate to do that having systems in place gives us more free time, right? So we know where things are when we go to reach for them. We don't have the mental clutter, which, in turn gives us more creativity, more patience in other areas. So for the sake of keeping it short, because I know your time is valuable, so thank you so much for getting on. In fact, let me know where you're tuning in from. I forgot to say that. I love hearing from you guys. So let me know you're here, say hello, tell me where you are, how's the weather where you are. But today, 2 ninja tips, okay? You need to implement them. I promise you it's going to change the way you see and do things. Okay, so tip number 1, touch things one time. Only touch things once, okay? So you come in from getting the mail. What do most people do? From what I hear, they throw it all over, they scatter it, and they'll get to it later. Which I understand. Hey, Charlene, Orlando, Florida, awesome. I understand that. But if you've got if you can't open and deal with the mail that moment, at least have one designated spot for it. So, and then when you open it, touch it once. So if I open it and I've got like bills, right? You open bills, it goes right into my folder where bills to be paid. Junk goes right into the garbage. So touch it once. Laundry, this is a big area. Most people, again, from what I hear from a lot of my clients, they're overwhelmed with all their household chores and stuff. So they take the laundry out of the dryer and they'll leave it in the basket until they can fold it, maybe if they get around to it, right? Or then they fold it, but then it's like still in the basket. Like, so touch things once. If you touch it, complete the task. Fold it, put it away. If you have children and you fold their laundry, maybe because they're young, place it on their beds. Teach them to put it away. Touch things once goes for anything. You come in, you take off your coat, instead of throwing it over a chair, and now you gotta like maybe go back later and hang it up. That's touching something twice. Touch it once, take it off, hang it right away, okay? Hang your hat, take off your boots, put them where they go. So, which is gonna lead into my ninja tip number 2. Everything needs a home, everything. So you don't just have stuff laying all around. You know where it goes, and it just goes there. It's got its own home, okay? This can be for keys, right? So many times I hear from people, they can't find their keys, have one designated spot, whether it be a hook, a drawer, wherever, and that's where all your keys go. All your, whatever you need for your daily I don't know, whether it be work, cooking, or whatever, everything needs a designated spot. So that's where the organization comes in, where everything has got its own space, everything needs a home, and you touch things once. So just implementing those two things, and it sounds kind of like silly. It sounds almost a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, not OCD-ish, but like too dramatic. But if you implement this, you're not going to think about it, and it just becomes habit, and then you're going to suddenly notice over time your home is less cluttered. It'll be clutter free. So dishes, again, getting back to why my sink was not full of breakfast dishes. As the kids were done and they were getting ready for school, they were done eating, I taught them to rinse the dish, put it right into the dishwasher. If your kids are too young, or if it's just by yourself, just as soon as you're done, if you put it in the sink, just wash it. I mean, rarely do we not have enough time to wash it, dry it, and put it away. If you don't, it's because you're not leaving yourself enough time to, which is probably a whole other subject. But you don't want to come in after a long day at work and still have your breakfast dishes there. So touch it once. You finish eating, you finish drinking, put it in the sink, wash it, dry it, or put it in the dishwasher, whatever your thing is to do. So you just don't leave stuff around, okay? Another good tip I like is if you borrow library books, or maybe a neighbor came over for a barbecue and they left their dish here. So I have a spot, not in this house, but my other house, I had a spot by the door with a big basket. So that's where everybody's shoes went, okay? Or if there's a table by the front door, that's where you would put your library books. So you knew as you were going out the door, like, okay, here are the books I need to return. Or here's the dish I need to drop off on my way out of my neighborhood to my neighbor again. So little silly, right? They seem kind of like silly. It seems kind of harsh, Gestapo-ish almost, if you will. My kids sometimes would used to say I was a little like OCD with this stuff. But it wasn't like I was like hounding them. It wasn't like I was being, my gosh, like Nazi about it. But these little tiny habits instilled, and it's just carried over into my professional life. I know where all my files are. It's carried over into everything I do. You know, I just get it done at that moment and not put it off. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if these tips helped you. Let me know if there's a particular area that you want to talk about. Like I said, all month long is the theme of organization, and we'll talk about keeping your house clean and a few other tips next week. I'll come at you with some more ninja tips to get it going. So for today, to recap, touch things once and everything has a home, okay? So that alone is going to reduce the clutter, is going to reduce, besides the physical clutter, the mental space, because when we have the physical clutter, remember, it takes up mental space, and then we can't get to or have the creativity, and it leads to mental fatigue, which is a real thing too. You can actually Google that, mental fatigue. So this is going to help eliminate the mental fatigue. So that is it for today's tips. I will see you next Tuesday, my friend. Take care. Bye.